Hey, how you going out there? So just still getting sort of set up. So it's Saturday morning here, so I thought I'd jump on because I haven't put up any content for a few days. Just been sort of running through some personal stuff for the week, but anyway, we'll get there. Anyway, I do say that a lot. I was thinking I might run that plus 15 key later on. It's Mechagon Junkyard, I think, so that'll be interesting. Still no Drac Theory at this stage. I still don't have Dragon Isles. Unfortunately, thankfully, one of my followers is actually going to gift it to me through Battle.net, but unfortunately they have to be your friend, and I didn't know this. They have to be your friend for greater than 3 days before you can actually gift someone something. So, hey, Lunia, thanks for jumping in, appreciate it. I'm actually, one of my followers is actually gifting me Dragon Isles, but it can't happen until Sunday, so... Because the donations I got from the last stream, I still haven't got them yet. Unfortunately, because it's sort of my first monetization, YouTube doesn't do anything until the end of the month. So they're sort of just sitting in limbo at the moment, so which I wasn't aware of at the time, which is what wanted to try and tell everyone, is that I said I'd go and buy the Dragon Isles with it, but I can't because I haven't got any of the super chats yet. But anyway, never mind. And how are you doing? Yes, it's the weekend here, thank God. Oh, not that I really do anything anymore, but anyway. Just checking, making sure everything's running properly. Yeah, that looks all good. Before it gets too busy in here. If it gets too busy in here, we never know. So yeah, I will. I've got a plus 15. I just checked it out actually, just before I started streaming. Yeah, I've got a plus 15 to run, so that'll be interesting. We'll see how we go. Get a bit of a group going. Righto, that's all working. Oh, here we go. Blimey, Macors. And hi from Sweden. Hello, for sure, from Sweden. Yeah, thanks, mate. How you going? Good to see you jumping in. Lunia, just guilt trip your son. That ain't gonna happen. Trust me. I've tried many times. And he's sort of a one-word answer. Oh, you're dead right. That's kind of sort of it. Balix, hello to you, and wave to you as well, Balix. Hello, how you going? Thank you for jumping in, and thank you, Macors, for jumping in. Talon, Big Boy JR. Yeah, I'm thinking about changing the channel name. Because I'm JR. That's what I'm sort of using at the moment. That's my initials. So I'm thinking about changing the channel name. Hey, from Boston. How you going over there in Boston? It's all right. That was probably a horrible Boston accent. I do apologise. Boston, that's about all I can say. And I don't even think that's correct, but anyway. And Balix, hi from the UK to you too. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for jumping in the channel. I do appreciate it. What are we talking there? It's coming on to midnight there for you, Balix. GMT. Wow. Or Zulu, as we used to say in the army. Zombie Jesus. Is he going to forgive us our sins? That's interesting. Boston accent training session every stream for 5 minutes, surely. At least. See, I think mine's a little bit too much New York. I don't know. I believe I can do accents, but people have told me that I can. So, and I can. What's funny is because I can do accents, I sing in an accent as well. It's very hard to find my own voice. Like I follow the accent of whatever the song is, you know. Oh yes. 11 p.m. back from the pub after the football. Football. Who do you support? Who do you support, Balix? Let's get into it. Now chowing down on a curry. Typical friggin' Pom. That'd be the way. I'll forgive the Boston accent. Thank you, Zombie Jesus. Yes, good. Will they forgive us? Thank you, mate. Yes, well done there. Good to see. I saw you pop in with that one. Very good. Balix, I'm a Chelsea supporter. I'm not a rabid Chelsea supporter, though. And the only reason I am a Chelsea supporter is because that's where my grandparents were born. My grandfather was actually born within view of the stadium. England. Oh, you mean the World Cup? Of course, yeah, in the World Cup. Sorry, I'm thinking like local team, you know. But England, of course, yeah, and Australia, of course, for me as well, naturally. Good thing we don't support Qatar, but anyway, there's some interesting stuff coming out of there. I'm not really following it at the moment, but I can see there's some interesting stuff going on. Liverpool, okay, nice. Oh, you get on well with a mate of mine I used to be in the army with. Mad Liverpool supporter. What is it? YNWA. Yeah, I will, Talon. Yeah, definitely. A little bit later on. I've got a plus 15 Mechagon to run. It's only got 4 days left, so I thought I might as well run it. I mean, I know we're not going to... You won't get any... unless you get drops, but you won't get the... the Vault in Oribos. I think that's it now. We don't have enough time, I don't think, because by everything is... I think it was the last week, so last Wednesday for us was... the last sort of chance to get anything, and it even told you when you popped the vault up, it said nothing would be available after this week. But yeah, YNWA, isn't it, Balix? You'll never walk alone, isn't that you guys? Jamie Ellis, my guy, going from figuring out how to do mythics to a plus 15 in such short time. Well done. Yes, look, let me just put a big caveat. Yeah, I thought so, Balix. Let me put a big caveat underneath that. I have a plus 15. I'll need you, whoever's in stream and feels like jumping in, to carry me through that plus 15. It's not the fact that I know how to do them. It's the fact that I just have one, because the reason I have a plus 15 is because of the last carry that I got through. So, yeah, I'm getting carried again, hopefully today. So, or this evening for you guys over there in the good old US and A. Yeah, okay, now they're just flexing, Talon. Okay, 301 eye level. I'm ready to go for Dragonflight. Yeah, I think you might be. Yeah, I still don't have it at this stage. Unfortunately, if you're in last stream, the donations I got, and I said I was going to buy it, unfortunately, they don't come through. It takes them ages. In case you're interested in how it sort of works, and I didn't know this until it happened, because it's a little bit different on Twitch. On Twitch, your donations come through straight away, but on YouTube, what they do is, so obviously you need 1,000 subscribers first of all, which is why I put that that post up, and then you need 4,000 watch hours before you can become monetized. But then what they actually have to do is physically post you out a PIN number to your address so they can verify your address. And obviously that hasn't happened at this stage. And then, you've got to sign up for an AdSense account. It's quite involved, much more involved than it was on Twitch. But anyway, I still prefer YouTube over Twitch at this stage. And please don't, if you guys... so I have both, but... daily streams, yeah, look, I've been... Actually, to be honest with you, Talon, I was thinking, because I haven't plus 15 good luck, I'll need more than luck, mate. I'll need some wonderful players to carry me through. But thank you, Lewis, and thank you for jumping in. Yeah, I've actually been toying with the idea of doing a little bit more regular streams. I still want to make a little bit of long-form content as well on YouTube, which is one of the reasons why I'm on here now. But I have been thinking about doing, like, at least trying to get to three a week, because it is quite easy for me to stream. Obviously, I can stream during the day, which is great for me because I'm in Australia. So you'll notice, like, when you go to log in WoW and you see the little map pop up, you can see where sort of our Dragonflight becomes available at 10 a.m. on the 29th of November. So it's easier for me. I can stream quite simply during my morning, sort of through to lunchtime, and you guys are in your early evening coming into, sort of into 10s and 11s and things like that. So, yeah, I have been... yeah, thanks, Cagnetics. Thanks, Cagnetics. I appreciate that, man. And I'm just putting stuff out that I hope people will enjoy watching. I know the first one went a little bit bananas. It's got like 70,000 plus views now, which is pretty crazy. But no, I appreciate that. And but yeah, yeah, it was just... I know I said this before, but it was just... I just thought... Yeah, I was thinking about that. I have been giving it serious thought, thinking at least like trying to do at least 3 a week or something like that. Like a Monday... I want to do a Saturday or a Sunday. I was thinking about doing 2 this weekend, because if I get Dragonflight tomorrow, I'll level a Drakthea and we can, I can stream about that. But yeah, I was thinking about doing like either a Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday, or a Wednesday or a Thursday, and then say a Saturday and maybe even a Sunday, like have Sunday off as like a extra one or something. I don't know, but yeah, I do get that a lot, mate. I get the fact that I'm, people think I'm wholesome, which I hope is a good thing, and that I'm pretty chill. I've been told that in the past, And you'll notice nothing. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to swear. There may be some profanity in here. If you haven't been in before, I do apologise. Nothing but the best. Australian natural spring water. Australian natural spring water. Anyway, never mind. Yeah, yeah, I do get that a bit, Talon. So yeah, I've been talking about streaming, a little bit extra streaming and stuff like that. But yeah, so unfortunately, it does take a little bit. I know with Twitch you used to get it at the end of every month. Not that I made any money on Twitch because I was just in Just Chatting, I never really thought anybody would want to watch me play WoW. I was obviously wrong about that. Thanks to you all. But as a Woolies worker, I'm it's from Coles, obviously, yes. It's got the curves logo on it, yes. Coles and Woolworths are our two major shopping chains here. And I do apologise about that titillation, perhaps. Titillation, thank you. And thank you for jumping in. And yes, I do apologise that it's not Woolies water, but unfortunately in the small town that I live in, we have Coles and Woolies, but Coles just seems to grab more people. They're at opposite ends of the one mall that we have here. Neil, love your videos, mate. I'm glad YouTube recommended them to me. A schedule is always good for viewers, Bailey. Yeah, I know. And I've never really had a schedule before, mainly because I've never really sort of got to this point where I'm at the moment. And staying consistent, yes, 100%. And I can certainly appreciate that. You guys can think, oh, okay, he'll be on now or around this time. And, if I'm interested in catching it, I know I can be there for that. Titation. No, you're good, brother. Even being a Woolies worker, I'd pick Coles every day of the week. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think Woolies is a little bit more expensive. I think, but if you're you guys do have, I think you guys have a better selection of beef and stuff like that. Like you have some cuts that that Coles doesn't and things like that. Your deli, I think your deli and your bread section is a little bit nicer than Coles. But anyway, Titation. We're getting there. Thanks for spelling it out for me, mate. That's what. And here we are again. Woof. Free vert girls. Awesome. Can I what can I do about that? Free vert girls chat here heart. Free vert girls chat here cherries. Free vert girls chat here nothing. Okay. Well, we won't be doing that girls69.xyz or XYZ as we would say it here in Australia. I didn't know whether you guys know that. We don't say Z as Z, we say Z as Z. Just to confuse yourself. So ZZ top is actually ZZ top over here in Australia. It loses a little bit in the translation. Titation, me, myself, I'm just a baker. So it's the same either way, I suppose, yeah. Oh, good on you, mate. At least you have a decent sort of something to fall back on, as my parents would say. Unfortunately, after my service, I didn't. A scam, lol, yes, I know. If I miss the stream, I usually watch the VOD. As a high-end Mythic player, it's nice watching someone learn Mythic Plus. Yeah, thanks, mate. I appreciate that. And I also appreciate that they're 69 girls and they're free vert to chat. What's a vert? Virtual girls. Wouldn't you rather a real girl? Anyway, I don't know. Never mind. I don't know, Bailey, so I don't think it's a scam, mate. I think it's fair income. I think we should go check it out. But yeah, Bailey, so I think I mentioned before I'm a once removed POM. So I was born here. My dad was born here, but his parents are both born in England. So I say that a bit. Talent higher. I got what you're saying. As a higher end Mythic Plus player. Yeah, I got you, Talent. No worries. So I'm going to just... So I'm going to buy a little bit extra kit too. I want to get a better capture card so I can get 4K through. I'm only getting 1080p at the moment, so I want to try and get 4K through and stuff. So I'm going to be, buying a little bit of extra gear. And I was thinking with doing that, I'll obviously start streaming a little bit more because, I'd still want to make YouTube videos just on like leveling stuff and running through WoW and stuff like that. But I think you guys would prefer streaming. I don't know. I think I do prefer it because, it's sort of instant feedback. You can sort of know if what you're saying or doing is resonating with the people that are watching. You know what I mean? Because you guys can comment straight away. And if you want to, you can jump into like voice channels in Discord and things like that. Yes, Talon, definitely. Yes. Yeah, I can stream that if you want. I was also going to do like long form on that as well, mate. So the idea I have behind long form is sort of to edit out all the boring bits, not the super boring bits because I think they're important. But like if I'm flying somewhere, that's why you'll see on a lot of my long form stuff, I fade to black a lot. I'll fade to black because I use a program called DaVinci Resolve. It's friggin' epic, by the way, to make videos with. You got to have a pretty robust computer. It does take a little while to render. Brock L, g'day mate. The boys and I love watching Mythic Plus Journey. Your vids get us pumped up to grind out high keys. Cheers. Yes, because you realise that you're better than I am. Absolutely, and that's fine. That's fine. You can do that. That's fine. If that's what gets you pumped, if that's what pumps you, please be pumped by that. So you'll see like when my long form stuff, I'll fade to black, and that's like a transition. So it is actually a video transition in DaVinci Resolve as well. But so the idea behind it is my idea behind that is that's like a I'm cutting out the boring bits where I'm just flying somewhere or something like that. If you're going to 4K to stream, yeah, I know we're actually pretty. No, we love the passion it envelops us. Rockwell, thanks, mate. Yeah, we're actually pretty good here. I know I was going to try and stream in 4K because it's 1080p at the moment. I know that's fine, like it's not a drama, but I was going to get one of those Elgato capture cards, the ones that just plug in. They look like your thumb drive, you know what I mean, USB flash drive, mainly to fix the latency, because I'm getting I'm set to, it's something ridiculous now. So my latency is, hang on, I'm just going to check it in OBS, is 950 milliseconds for the mic. So it takes almost a second for it to get from here to the computer and out. You know what I mean? Because I'm going through a capture card. I've got one of those capture cards you can use for like Xbox and stuff like that, mainly because it was a bit cheaper. But thanks to some donators, which is still unbelievable. I'll be able to get a little bit extra gear, but once again, I have to wait for the money to come through from friggin' YouTube. But never mind. But yeah, so definitely we will jump on. Not straight away, but we will do it shortly. Just checking to see my Curse Forge is all done. I've made sure all my plugins are up to date. Michael Ross, hey mate, what are your plans for your channel? Do you want to focus exclusively on WoW or explore other games too? Michael, at the moment, WoW. Look, to be honest with you, that's what everybody's enjoying, and that's what I enjoy. It's my favourite game. It is my favourite game. Like if I go to my desktop now, and I won't see you because I'll just minimise this real quickly. I've got Elder Scrolls, Star Wars Online, Elder Scrolls Online, Star Wars, World of Warcraft, Total War, Warhammer, GTA 5, some Sherlock Holmes games, Skyrim, Empire, Total War, Civ 6, Dirt 5, Fallout 76, Stellaris, The Outer Worlds, Farming Simulator 22, Euro Truck Simulator 22, Witcher 3, City Skylines, and Age of Empires 4. So they're basically the games I have at the moment. We're all WoW addicts, I think. Yeah, agreed. I mean, so at the moment, look, my initial plan for the channel was certainly whatever. I don't really. I'm pretty bad at that. I never really had a. I don't have a topic, and I didn't really have a plan or anything like that. That's a pretty big portfolio. Yeah, I know. Quick, we'll do one a day or something like that. No, there's some I don't play anymore. Like I don't play GTA 5 anymore, and I don't play I hardly play them. When I say they're on my computer, they've been on my computer for years, especially Empire, Total War. I've had that for donkeys. My Steam is like 600 hours or something stupid. I was just in love with that game for a while. I couldn't play enough of it. Shower stream when, Talon. Look, mate, I appreciate that, but I'm probably the last person you want to see in the shower, trust me. Plus, I think that might be against YouTube's conditions, mate, or terms of service or whatever the hell it is. That's my OnlyFans is next. My OnlyFans is the one where you pay me to put my clothes back on. Yes, was worth the ask. Yes, of course it was. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. But yes, my OF would be, Christ, tell him to put his clothes back on. So yes, I'd start off naked, put my clothes on. Thank God for that. Yes, no, that's something you don't want to see. I do sing in the shower, like most of us. I do sing in the shower. I can actually sing. So yeah, because I kind of sort of got musical over the last few years. Trying to learn the bass guitar and do a bit of singing and stuff. I was doing voiceover work for a little while, but nothing came of it. I had a really crappy mic, and I think that's why I didn't get any jobs. Not good for my voice, my particular vocal style, but anyway, because it can be quite deep. Yes, was worth the ask, but no, I don't think so. My moderator in life and on YouTube might have something to say about that. Okay, give me a sec. Amateurs Chach. Hey Vet, really like what you're doing, but maybe think about learning the game, doing real Mythic Plus from scratch, instead of getting carried in content over your head. Maybe viewers would help with bad twink. I'm certainly not a twink. Maybe I'm assuming you mean wink. Is T close to W on the keyboard? Not really. Yes, that was something I wanted to try and do, and this is one of the reasons why I've been sort of, getting a bit carried. I didn't start at plus 15s, I have to let you know. If you check out my channel, you can see there are some 2s and 3s that I sort of started with. And the video where I say my first Mythic is actually a Mythic 0. A twink means alts. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, I thought it meant something else. Okay, maybe I'm in anyway, never mind. Yeah, that's what I was sort of wanting to do. Michael Ross, Twink means an also carry. Ian Kolbinski, hey, glad to catch another stream. How's your whale life been? Pretty good, mate. I've got a Death Knight that I'm leveling, but he's going through Bastion at the moment. So not bad. Pretty quiet. I haven't been doing anything. We had a bit of personal stuff going on this week, but hang on, catching up. I thought a twink specifically was when you keep a character low level, but get them very good gear. Oh, okay. I thought twink meant a min max 19, 29, etc. years ago. I don't know. I think it probably does. No, 188. I do seem to remember. I know on Classic I was doing that. I know certainly on Classic my ults were always, used to get them the best gear I could. We're hitting some heroics today. Yeah, Judy, RSPS. I'll do a Mythic later on. I got a plus 15, but I will need help. I will need to be carried. I'm just letting you know that. I was led to believe otherwise, low. It might be, in fact, a level 19 character. Amateurs chat. In WoW, we use Twink for ult, basically. Okay. As you can see, like I'm seriously have been playing this game for years, and I still don't understand some of the stuff. Some people mix Twinks and ults. No, we don't. I've always used the phrase ult, because doesn't a Twink have another kind of connotation? I don't know. I'm pretty sure it does. But so we use ults. But yes, I definitely would like to know it better. That's kind of sort of why I began all this, to be honest with you. Like, help me understand Mythic content in World of Warcraft. That was it. That was what started me off. Oh yes, Ian. Yes, there is that one, isn't there? Yes, there is that one. Yeah, so I've been told. It definitely has another connotation, unfortunately. Yes, I thought it did too. Kinel there, 188. Kinel 188. Yes, it does have another connotation. Anyway, yeah, but yes, I am thinking about. Well, not thinking about. I want to get better at it, but this is going to sound silly. I don't want to get. Sean, hey, and hey to you. Thank you for jumping in. Appreciate it. I don't want to get like too good at it. I know that sounds silly, but like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to come over. I don't want to be like one of those professional dudes. Kinel 188. What's your most prized possession? Probably my medals, and a tiny little badge that sits above my medals. I haven't got it anywhere. That's those little miniatures down there, my grandfather's. Just want to play for fun. Yeah, Sean, thank you. That's what I'm after. Yes. I don't want to get like and one of the other things too is I don't want to get into a position, which I think a lot of people are, is where you guys would expect me to be this top max level thingo, you know what I mean? This is me, this is how I'm going to be playing, and it's probably not going to change. I'm going to try and get better, obviously, and know what to do and where to stand and stuff like that, but I'm never going to be like, let's go and do esports and win $1 squillion, you know what I mean? Oh, pardon me. Just want to play for Plum. Club, yes, I am very excited for Dragonflight. Very much so. I should have it tomorrow if we're lucky, and I'll jump on tomorrow as well. So we can do a little bit of leveling a Drakthir, and then I'm actually really excited for it. I think it's probably the most anticipated and probably the most. I think this one will. Don't make or break isn't the right thing to say, because WoW's never really going to break, is it? Let's be honest. We're all pretty much into it anyway. I mean, we all may whinge about this expansion or that expansion, but we've all still play through them, but it might be like, oh, this is junk, but we still play it, you know what I mean? So I don't think it's going to make or break it. I think it might bring back players who haven't played for a while or are playing Classic. That's what I'm kind of sort of hoping for, especially my next door neighbour here, my eldest, because he's going to stop playing WoW after Wrath of the Lich King on Classic, because he's just like... Alt is a more English native, where Twink is more universal. In Germany, everybody says Twink. Oh, okay, cool. No shame in it. Yeah, Sean. No, yeah, cool. No, not that. I'm not thinking that. It's just, I just want to be this still me and not like pretend to be some Uber thing, I would love to hear an overview of your service sometime. Your granddad's too, by the sound of it. Well, Canal 188, that's a fairly long conversation, mate, but I can give you the clip notes very briefly, but we'll do that in a sec. Just let me catch up. A good thing we all start at the same time with Dragonflight Mythic. Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to that. That's something that I'm really looking forward to. Kind of sort of everybody now is having to learn it again and what this does and learn the mechanics and stuff like that. And that's what I kind of want to try and get a little bit better at, is learning the mechanics. I've been told that people that have been watching me playing, especially last stream, a lot of the guys were saying, no, you're doing really well. No, but I probably will, Michael. We might throw a guild together, eh? We'll call it like Somvet or something like that. That'll do. Yeah, that's why I called it JR today. I'm thinking about changing the channel name to like JR Veteran instead of Somalia Veteran. I don't know. So Kinel 188. Basically, I joined in the 80s. I joined in 1987 when I was 17. We do basic training, and then we do core training. So you do your employment training. We should join you here playing at you. Yeah, I know, mate. That's all good. That's all good. Of course. So yeah, joined in 87. So well, actually, let's start. Every male on my father's side has been in the service of some kind. So, you know, my dad was in the army. His brother was in the army, my uncle. My grandfather was in the British Army and fought in the First World War, fought at Ypres in Belgium with the Australians, got wounded, got repatriated back to England. Yes, Talon, I have been doing that. I was doing that with my healer, with my Kultiran healer, and I think you suggested that, and it worked really well. It did work really well. I moved a lot of keys. But yeah, I joined in 87, 17, went off, did basic training, and then did my initial employment training, IET training is what we call it in Australia, which is like your core training. I was selected to go to infantry. I went to Singleton in New South Wales for infantry training, and then got, at the end of another 3 months, so that's like 6 months, 3 months basic, 3 months infantry training. And then I got sent to a battalion in Townsville, the 1st Battalion, the Royal Australian Regiment. And that's, well, I call that my battalion. You're always loyal to the first unit that you're posted to, because afterwards you get posted other places. Was there from 1988, the early 88, so finished my infantry training at the end of 87, and we had Christmas off, and then basically, you know, February was first day in the new battalion, and that was up there in Townsville, which is right up in North Queensland, up near the pointy bit, up the top. Yeah, was there for 10 years in that battalion. Served overseas in Somalia with them in 1993. Got back. When did I leave there? 96, ended 96, started 97, so nearly 10 years. Army Reserve posting for about 4 years. Army Reserve is like part-timers. They only do one Tuesday night. They do Tuesday night once a week, 1 week in a month, and then they do a 2-week exercise every year. It's a little bit different now, but this is how it was back in the late 90s. And I was there for about 4 years, down in Sydney. And then from there to Singleton, back to the school. So I'm a corporal by now, so I'm promoted to corporal, which is like squad leader. Singleton, School of Infantry, posting there, was posted to the Special Forces Training Centre. That's what plaque is up there on the back. I was never Special Forces. You got to watch it too, because you get a lot of guys who say, "Oh yeah, I was bloody Special Air Service, mate. Can't talk about it. Official Secrets Act." That's a load of wank. But anyway, I was posted to a Special Forces unit as support staff. I was the operations sergeant. So I got promoted to sergeant there, and SFTC at Singleton. Then was there for about 4 years, and then, 10, 14, yeah. And then 6 RAR, and I got a 6th Battalion, the Royal Australian Regiment, and that was my last posting, and 20 years gone. That's what it was like, mate. 17 to 37, gone. So yeah. Oh, Math House 8. I'm trying to get that right. G'day, mate, and g'day to you. G'day again. But yeah, so that was very brief thing on my service. I could go into a bit more detail, but I won't. We'll be here all day. It's because I'll start talking about my favourite subject. So my prized possession will probably be my medals. And the little badge above it is what the Americans call the CIB. We call the ICB. The Infantry Combat Badge, so it's slightly different. But yeah, and then, other than that, I'm a husband and a father, and that's about me. That's about it, and I play WoW, because I'm on a veteran's pension now, so I basically play WoW. And I do other things too, but but yeah, that's basically it. Where were we? Kinel 188. So that was basically about 20 years, joined at 17, out at 37, and that's the wife and I up the top. Yeah, I've been thinking about that, Talon. Yeah. I didn't think anybody would find it interesting, but what title you have in WoW, you feel... The Explorer. Yes, my WoW title. My my paladin is called Gilead the Explorer, and I did that before Burning Crusade, so like before the first expansion. So because you get it by uncovering the world, so Kalimdor and the Eastern Kingdoms, you know what I mean? And yeah, so actually my main actually has that, the Explorer. Yeah, because I was running around, because no flying, you had to run around and like it's so you've exposed all the parts of the maps. Neil, I agree with Talon. Oh, you know, there's some there's some great stuff. I mean, the biggest thing was the fact that nobody had a camera. That was the biggest thing. Like I can quick you show. Oh, Canel, man, thank you. No worries. You didn't have to do that, mate. Thank you. I appreciate it. Were you ganked a lot to get that title back then? Yes, Michael, definitely. Yes. It was a long and involved process. Yep. I'm 24, but it's still interesting to listen to. Yeah, well, I can quickly show you just very quickly. Just give me a sec. I'm just sorting some stuff out. Oh, it should be my streaming folder. I've got some pictures and stuff I can show you just quickly. I can't see chat just for a sec, guys. Just give me a sec. Is it in there? I can't remember. It's here somewhere. I just got to find him. Won't be a second. No, that's not it. Where the hell are they? Oh, they're not already in there, are they? There they are. Yeah, okay. So you'll find some of this interesting. So just I'll bring it over to here, and we will go like that, and we'll bring that up. Okay, so we'll start here. So that's me. Hang on, I'm going to have to bring that over there so I can make sure that you guys can see it. Yep. That's me in Somalia just before we're coming home. That's me there. That's my platoon sergeant, Murray. That's Tassie Ranson and Fred Robinson. We were all squad 2IC, so section 2ICs. He's a platoon sergeant, which is like, if you know the US military, he's a first sergeant, I think it is. And we were all lance corporals, and we were like we're like the admin guys. You know, we look after all the bullets, beans, and bandages and stuff like that. So that's in Africa, but it's just before we're coming home. So this is a Baidoa, because what we're cleaning up all our gear. As you can see, there's like connexes and stuff behind us, and so we're cleaning up all our gear, getting ready to come home because there was a lot of bad diseases and stuff over there. Like we had 5 uniforms, but we only got to keep 1 to come home, and the rest we had to burn, and we had to burn all our boots and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's pretty full on. What's next? That's our accommodation. So I'm in a tent there. That's an American tent. They're actually American winter tents, which is a bit funny. And you can see they're the old style Aussie stretchers. We don't have those anymore. We basically built them up on sandbags, so we could have like somewhere to sit. Like you can see me actually sitting on it. And that's my Bravo Company T-shirt from back in the day. And that's my machine gunner's bed just there. That was one of the 2ICs, and that was my platoon sergeant's bed right there. So yeah, you can see he's got a US cam bivy bag. Bivy bag's like a waterproof sack that you can put your sleeping bag in. It allows water out, so moisture comes out, but moisture doesn't come in. You can basically sleep in a puddle. They're pretty cool. And for those of you keen-eyed, you can see there's an MRE right there. We were on American rations for most of the time we were over there, so there's an MRE pack right there. What's next? This is us in Africa doing a section patrol with a rover. That's our old, they don't have them anymore. It was our old 4-wheel drives. And you can see we're sort of all gunned up. That's my machine gunner. There's a rifleman. And there's my section commander, and then me. What's next? Oh yeah, all men are created equal, and a few become brothers. That's that. Okay, this is interesting. This is an interesting shot. This one is a night ambush. So basically what was happening was the bandits over there would ambush vehicles on the road at night. Even during the day, they were pretty brazen, even during the day, to get food and money and all that off the people that were in them. And so we were doing what we called ambush busting. Okay. So you can see that we've got the floor of the vehicle lined with sandbags. This is a 6x6 Rover, 6x6, so it's a 6-wheel drive Rover. So there's my machine gunner in the top. This is actually a thermal imager, and I'm using that. So I'm sitting on the top of center seats, because I did training on the TI before we left, so that's actually a thermal imager. And so this is just before we're about to set out. You see we're all wearing flak jackets and stuff. We're just about to go and try to get the bad guys to think we're a truck, you know what I mean, to shoot at us so we could shoot back at them, that kind of sort of thing. But I had the TI for early warning, you know, that kind of stuff. What's next? Oh, this is our battalion. This is a plaque down in Canberra, in the capital. That's when we formed, and this is where we fought: Korea, Vietnam, Timor, Afghanistan, Malaya, Somalia, Iraq. You know, all over the sort of place. My bed again. Oh, this is cleaning out one of the old buildings. You can see they didn't have any roofs for some reason. They ripped all the roofs off a lot of their buildings over there, and we're just digging it out to make it clean and make it livable. Oh, that's me and the wife. That's me in Hawaii on exchange. That's the Big Island, Pahakalua training area, in '95. This is funny. This is me. I'm 19 in this photo. So I'm 19. This is in Northern Territory on an exercise, a big massive exercise. That's me trying to look cool. That's basically just me trying to look cool. So yeah. Just give me a second. I'm just going to check something. Yeah, that's still working okay. Just making sure you're still out there. I'm not boring anybody to death, am I? That's me on an exercise in the Northern Territory, M16, you know, and I was in Signals Platoon at the time, so I was carrying a radio. And then, well, there you go. Gun control is cool. Yeah, always finger outside the trigger guard, always, or you're going to get yelled at. This is that same exercise, and it's just a photo of giving an idea of sort of the packs that we carried and stuff like that. They're actually large Alice packs. So yeah, they're actually large Alices, which is pretty cool. And you can see, you know, we were using the old VHF radios at the time. So yeah, there's my weapon. Anyway, this is interesting. These are US Navy CBs. Okay, this is in Africa. This is our kitchen. So what happened was a gas bottle exploded. Thankfully, no one was in there. A couple of weapons got burnt. Live ammunition started cooking off and all that sort of stuff. What happens with rounds, bullets, is if they get hot, they'll explode. You know what I mean? Like they're supposed to, because they've got explosive in them. But yeah, so this was an aftermath of a gas bottle exploding in the kitchen over there. So we had to get a brand new kitchen, and we were on rations for a while. We were only on one fresh meal a day when we were in the airbase. Is that it? That's another photo of us digging. That's me and my best mate at an Anzac Day march in Sydney. He was in Delta Company, I was in Bravo. And that's me there in Africa again. Flak jackets on. We were taking some politicians around to have a look at some places. So I think that's it. Oh, and that's my medals. I've got another one now. I've got a third one, but that's the Infantry Combat Badge up the top there. That's the Australian Active Service Medal with Class Somalia, and that's my Long Service Medal. We're not. Oh, there's a picture of us just coming back after a patrol in Baidoa. We've just finished about a 6-hour foot patrol in the town, and we're all like buggered and sweaty and stuff. Yeah, and that's me, another Anzac Day. That's my rifle with an old American M1. Pretty sure it's an M1. You can see they've used a piece of tin. I'll see if I can zoom in, actually. Can I zoom in on this thing? I don't think I can I? Oh, yeah, there we go. You can see they've used a piece of tin with tacks in it to hold the stock together because there's a crack in it. And that's a old school. You might notice that's the banner of my YouTube channel. That's an old photo of me. I'd be 17, 18, maybe just 18 in that photo. And that's my old rifle. That's the SLR. That's the rifle we had before that one. Before that one, the Steyr. Yeah, is that it? Oh yeah, never forgotten. That's it. Okay. Not bored, just invested in your storytelling. Okay, yeah, because chat was pretty quiet. But yeah, so yeah, that was it. So basically, we were like, we got asked by the Americans to commit troops, so we committed 1,000 troops. Yeah, that was great. Okay, cool. Yeah, so that's kind of. I've got a few more around, like um, all this stuff. It's a bit hard to see because it's stuck to the wall, most of it. But like, that's my wife and I up the top, in my uniform, and then I've got a few photos of like the battalion. That's us in Africa. That one just there, and that's that one there. You can see that just there near my amp. That's that photo I just showed you. That's the black and white photo of it taken by the unit photographer. Okay, cool. So that was that. That was basically me. So yeah, and it's hard. It's you guys are young now, but wait till you get older, and you're just like, where the hell did that go? It's like, boom, 20 years goes by in a blink. But yeah, but then there's that's just the operational side of it. But then there's all the training and fuck ups and fun and just on the piss and just like doing stuff that's not very nice on the piss when you're drunk and stuff. Because back then you could get away with it because nobody had a camera, and we were all, not everybody had a camera in their hand at least, and we were all blokes. In an infantry battalion back then, it was all men. It was I already just like looking for photos from when I was 20. Oh yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I don't mind getting old. Getting old is cool. I don't mind getting old. Yeah, back then obviously, like I was saying, not everybody had a camera in their hand, so a lot of the stuff isn't documented. It's just remembered up here. Like some of the stuff you do, because we're all blokes. There was no women in an infantry battalion at all, none. No women at all. So we were just, we were all boys. So you can imagine what that's like. Getting a bit stupid on the grog as you do. Anyway, never mind. But yeah, so that was basically it. That's kind of sort of it. That was my whole life, and it still is in a way. It's a very proud of it and stuff like that. Unfortunately, it's really all I've got to talk about. It drives my wife bananas when everybody says, "Well, you in the army?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, let's talk for the next 7 hours about this." But yeah, that and WoW, that and World of Warcraft. I don't know what it is about WoW. It just captures me. It always brings me back. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I think the way it looks. I think they did the right thing, just the way it looks, that kind of cartoonish style that follows on from like Warcraft 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, it was just, I think they did it well. Oh, look, Canel, nothing exciting, honestly. I worked as for a security company for a while. Nothing that can compare. That's the biggest problem. That is a problem a lot of us have. A lot of veterans have when they get out is like, civvy life. Don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about family and things like that, obviously, but civvy life just doesn't mean as much. Civvy employment doesn't mean as much to us, and we can see that. So, it's a real problem for veterans getting out, even if they haven't served overseas, even if they've just been in the service, it is a real problem. It's just because nothing stacks up anymore, you know what I mean? We're all mates, you're all in together, all doing stuff together for a goal, you know what I mean? It's all, you're really looking out for each other. There's fun, there's sadness, there's happiness, there's sadness, there's everything. Oh, Neil, yeah, of course. Yeah, mate, all the time. Yeah, we've got Facebook groups out the arse. Yeah. Very much so, Neil, yeah. And my best mate was the best man at my wedding, He lives about 6 hours away, and I'm in contact with him like once a week. We ring each other up. How you going? He was very good friends with the guy that was killed over there. So he's around Anzac Day time, which is April 25th of April, sort of Anzac Day, Remembrance Day, veterans stuff and all that. He gets a little bit, can get a bit upset. So you always just check in. How you going? That kind of stuff. But yeah, definitely, yeah. We're all on Facebook, and we all have like a gathering every year, only for infantrymen, sort of a gathering every year in around the 23rd of November. It's just happened. I obviously didn't go down, but the 23rd of November is the regiment's birthday, so they have like whatever the closest weekend is to that. They have like a weekend gathering, and you generally get like 200 or 300 guys, and we're talking blokes that are still alive from Vietnam right up to Afghanistan veterans, literally guys that have just got back from the latest episode in Afghanistan where they were, trying to get everybody out. We sent about 200 soldiers over for that, for the withdrawal. Yeah, no, definitely, Neil. Yeah, one of the things about the military is you're probably never going to make friends, the same kind of friends. That's not necessarily true, but like the mates you make in the military you're very tight, and you'll find that you generally only have a small group. You might only have like 4 or 5 guys, but you're super tight together because you've been through things. You've been through exhaustion, and I'm just talking about training. I'm not talking about not talking about operations. It's just training as an infantryman is hard. It's physically demanding. It's mentally demanding. You know what I mean? You're just going through hard things. Guys have been in tears. You know what I mean? Just from pain and from sometimes failing. It's that kind of stuff. Corgington, good morning, and good morning to you, and thank you very much for jumping in. But yeah, so it is. I encourage everybody to at least think about it. I know with the Americans, it's always a big deal. You guys do look after you recognise your veterans very well. Probably not as good as we do here in Australia, but we are looked after very well if you're a veteran with issues through Department of Veterans Affairs. But yeah, like I think the first time somebody in Australia said thank you for your service, I nearly burst into tears. But anyway, it was a Canadian dentist, believe it or not. I wear a memorial bracelet for the guy that was killed in Somalia. We all knew him pretty well because we're only a small army. You have to remember, an infantryman. There's only like 4,000 infantry in the Australian army. So we're only even smaller. Probably not even that much. Oh, with special forces, yeah, there'd probably be about 4,000. Anyway, yes. So there we are. So what's going on with everybody there? He says, trying to change the subject. No, yes, we'll probably play for a bit. I'm just checking to see if we've got enough probably to run a Mythic group. We should have, We should have. So I'll probably be on. Probably jump on tomorrow as well. But yes, yes. So everybody's gone quiet. Everybody's gone quiet. What to do? Remember, I don't have a lot of points. I need to be led by you guys. Remember, I need to be carried, both in WoW and in chat. No, I'm only kidding. But yeah, so that was basically it. That was sort of and now I'm just a husband and father. That was sort of, I'm very, and that's another thing you can be proud of. But yeah, after the army, nothing really. Yeah, security company for a while, call center. Lurai. Hey, might be off topic, just joined the stream, but just wanted to say I appreciated your WoW video and I run keys a lot and have a lot of experience. If you ever need help, I'm happy to try. Thank you, Lurai. Feel free to jump in the Discord too. Actually, I'm just going to check how many people we've got in stream before I throw the Discord up. Okay, not too many, that's fine. I'll throw my Discord link up. Please feel free to jump in if you wish. It's not the most active Discord on Earth, but it is there. There is a lot of people in there, so feel free to jump in if you wish. Just follow the rules. There's a joins channel in there with just the rules. Very basic, very simple. Don't be a dickhead, pretty much, Jarrett Plett. Imagine we live in a future where wars won't be fought by humans, but by mechanized androids we control, like Ender's Game, like an MMO, and the two factions would be like, GG, you win. I know. What is the name of that Bruce Willis movie? It's already in a movie, Jarrett. Sorry, I called you Jared then. I do apologize. Jarrett. It's already in a movie. What is that Bruce Willis movie? Let's see if we can find it. Bruce Willis movie replicants. It's called Surrogates. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you look at it. It's not Surrogates. Yeah, Jarrett. Yep. No, not iRobot. Joined your Discord. Just hit me up if you ever remember, and I'll help you out wherever possible. Thank you so much. Oh, Jarrett, you've seen it? Because they have that in there. They have, there's that guy out of Band of Brothers and Walking Dead, the blonde guy. I'm pretty sure that's him. If you have to excuse me, I'm just trying to run a peacekeeping mission over here. And you see all the pods with all the live guys in them, you know what I mean? Yeah. If you have to excuse me, I'm trying to run a peacekeeping mission. And it's like they're just sitting down. We're almost there with drones. You've got a guy in an air-conditioned Connex in Washington flying a drone over Afghanistan, you know what I mean, and dropping bombs on people. It's just... Anyway. Yeah, I think it will. I don't think we'd ever... Well, maybe not in our or our children's lifetimes, but I think we will have it. It'd be interesting. But see, Jared, to the victor, the spoils. So, what do? You'd have to have some sort of agreement. For Favorite war movie? It's one you won't know. It's called Odd Angry Shot. Odd Angry Shot. It's 1977 it was made. It's an Australian war film about Vietnam. And centres on the squad of Special Air Service guys, or a section of Special Air Service guys. Set in Vietnam. It's, there's tiny little mistakes in it, but it's very accurate. And you have to remember that we only left Vietnam in 1972, and this was made in 77. So a lot of people around, a lot of the background actors and stuff like that are actually soldiers. Yes, I seen 1917. Yeah, I saw that. I like that. Oh yeah, So we've got, all right. Let's tick off the favourites. Cross of Iron, Sam Peckinpah. Got James Coburn in it. Zulu, Odd Angry Shot. These were sort of. It was funny. These were sort of the movies you had to watch. I'm talking about back in the day. These were the movies you had to watch before you could call yourself a true infantryman. Don't worry about training or anything like that. Here's what's Cross of Iron by Sam Peckinpah, James Coburn, Maximilian Schell. Cross of Iron, Zulu. What else do we have to watch? Cross of Iron and Zulu, Odd Angry Shot, and that was probably the three. And then the ones that I've watched now: Saving Private Ryan, Band of Brothers, The Pacific. I've read all the books too, as well. Helmet for My Pillow by Bob Leckie, and all that sort of stuff. Read the Band of Brothers book. Just trying to think if it's even up there. No, it's not. I've got a Kindle, so I've got books. I've got books in here and books on my Kindle. As long as we evolve towards, look, and Jarrett, the thing is too, yes, but I've watched all the big ones. Saving Private Ryan, I have a bit of trouble with. James, that's certainly, that's up to you, mate. That's certainly your thing. I wouldn't I just ask that you not get too religious in here, too religious or too political. But yeah, no worries if you want to do that. Yep, for sure, that's no problem. But yeah, so. Band of Brothers is probably one of the best. I think, I know. I know they're doing one about the 8th Air Force too, which is going to be sort of a similar setup, I think. I think Band of Brothers, the way you see the guys talking, and then they, the original guys, and then they go into the episode, you know what I mean? Yeah, pretty full on. Yeah, look, and, the Greatest Generation, they call it, World War II, big deal. A lot going down. And, you have to think that, see, the problem with Vietnam was it was the first televised war. So Band of Brothers shows you that bad things still happened to good and bad people, and good and bad people did good and bad things. You know what I mean? Band of Brothers sort of shows you that. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, Vietnam brought it home for everybody because it wasn't just a newsreel, censored and for propaganda sort of thing. It was television cameras and photos, into people's lounge rooms, basically, of an evening while they're sitting down to watch dinner. And, war has always been like that, but Vietnam was the first time that people back home actually got to see what it was sort of really like, you know what I mean? Yeah, Call of Duty World War II really felt like playing Band of Brothers, the beginning sequence. Yes, I remember that. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, I remember playing that. Yeah. What server do you play on? I'm a decent Mythic Plus healer and always down to run dungeons. I just started watching you recently and I'm excited to see your journey into climbing keys. Thanks, mate. I'm going to try and run a plus 15 today. Mechagon, Junkyard, I think I've got. I've got about 4 days left on it. The only reason I have that, I said that earlier, the only reason I have that key is because I got carried through a plus 15 last stream. So you have to remember, that's why. I play on Kazgaroth Oceanic. So I'm on the Oceanic server, Kaz_Garoth. And please, jump in. I'm going to probably start a guild up. Good one, very easy with the buffs. Okay, cool. All right, no worries, Jarrett. I will probably start. I'm probably wait for Dragonflight, and then we might start a guild, and we can all jump in and sort of whenever we're sort of playing and that. If I'm not streaming, when I am streaming, but even if I'm not streaming, we jump on. Yeah, I think I might. We'll start a guild. I'll call it Somvet or something like that. That actually Somvet. That's actually not a bad idea. But no, I've seen all the flex. The problem is those ones not so much because they're quite accurate. But the Schwarzeneggers and the sort of the blatant explosions and stuff like that. I'm probably a bad guy to watch. We are naturally, You know, you see it on YouTube, like watching war movies with a veteran. You know what I mean? It's, well, come on, you know. I'll definitely be down to join the guild. Oh, that's awesome, Corgington. Yeah, I'll put it up when I create one. We might create one for Dragonflight, eh? Well, I'll create one in the next couple of days, actually. I'll put it in Discord. Yeah, I'm sort of the last guy you want to watch a silly war movie with, or one that you might like, because I'll be like, Jesus Christ, is he ever going to reload or what? Oh, grenades don't do that. You know, like it's kind of that sort of stuff. Grenades aren't like a big fire explosion. They're just boom, and a puff of dust, and that's basically it. Bit of dirt. You know, and claymores aren't that great. You got to sight claymores properly. Anyway, never mind. And a lot of anti-armor weapons aren't that great either, except for Javelin. Javelin's epic. Javelin is epic. Oh my God, that's what's killing all the tanks in the Ukraine. Javelin. Unbelievable weapon system, Javelin. It's yeah, it's awesome. We only just came in as I was getting out. Javelin, yeah. I never fired a Javelin, but they're really cool. A little, so just enough to get it out of the launcher, and then the rocket motor kicks in. And cool guys don't look at explosions. 100%. Yeah. Just walking away from the explosion. Yeah, nah. Yeah. The biggest thing is reloading. That's the biggest thing. Ba-bang, 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 bang, 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 bang. Or they've got a revolver and they fire like 8 shots out of it, or 12 or something like that. Come on, mate. You know, or an automatic, like a Beretta's only got 15 in the mag, you know. Some of them are even smaller magazines. Oh, yeah, Lonely Island video. Yeah. Yeah, I think I've seen that. Yeah. Cool guys don't look at explosions. Yeah, I think I've seen that. Yeah. What are we feeling? We want to run a key or what? But yes, they did this Rogue series out of SAS, but it was horrible. Yeah, Gimbus. Was that the one with what's his face in it? The pommy guy? Ross Kemp. Was it the one with Ross Kemp? I think I've seen that. Is that it? Rogues? Let me have a look. Oh no, this is a new one. Okay. Oh no, that's Rogues. That's the movie. Oh, good evening from Sweden, Victor, and good morning to you as well. Still is morning here. It's 10:04 a.m. on the 26th of November, 2022. It's currently 1 in the morning. Blimey. Yeah, wow. It's pretty crazy, when you look at it. But it's 10:04 a.m. here, which is it's actually, as I was saying earlier in the stream, it's pretty good to be a streamer here, especially considering most of my audience is, is from the other side of the world, where it's, an evening where people are sort of knocking off and want to come into the stream and stuff like that. Yeah. Unknown Soldier, it's a Finnish movie, very underrated, but it's a great film. I'll give it a look. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. There was an SAS show back in the day that had Ross Kemp in it as one of the operators, and yeah, I'm trying to remember. It was pretty silly, but it was okay. It wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? It wasn't that bad. Currently 1 a.m. Yeah. Okay. So what are we thinking here? Let's have a look. I can't do any more Mythic Plus. I ran upper from a 20 down to an 18 with Metronice as a joke to the end of the season. He did a massive spreadsheet of all dungeon disbands, and upper was his number one disbanded. So it was a joy for him not to care about the outcome. May I ask a noob question? Metronice, is he a streamer, is he? Like a WoW streamer, as a joke at the end of the season. So it was a joy for him not to care about the outcome. Okay. Oh, he must be like okay, is he one of those guys that's like, we're all here and he's here? The Blood Death Knight. Okay, cool. I actually started a Death Knight the other day just for thinking something to do, in between times. Because I haven't got Dragonflight yet. Whoa. Wow. You mean Upper Karazhan? Okay, yeah, righto. You mean Upper Karazhan, right? I did that the other day. Upper is seriously a great dungeon. It's very easy. Oh, I'm sure Upper's the one where I lost my weapon because it was... What's her name? I think Chris is obviously being... not when you pug. Ultimate Force. Well done, Craft. Thanks, mate. That was it. Ultimate Force. That was it. That was exactly it. Thank you. Yes, that was it. Ultimate Force. I was trying to remember what it was. Ultimate Force. That was it. Ross Kemp, doing the SA play and SAS stuff, yeah. It wasn't too bad, but I pugged so my 20s. So, Chris, There's just that hole I pugged, so all 20s. See, that's what I mean. This is what I mean. There's this whole other language, isn't there? There's this whole other language that an average guy like me doesn't know. Min-maxing, pugged, twink. I know now that's alts, but I always say alts. Nilkara is hell if your pug is clueless. Well, when you start to do upper on 24 to 27 keys, it's major different. I'm sure it would be. I actually healed a 15 upper on my 265 eye level evoker. I think mine was a +2, and it's still, I still died like 6 times or something. Yeah. Anyway, it's that one on my channel where I lose my weapons because they get damaged because I think I forgot to repair when I went in. This is fire don't more ice move. Fire don't move. You mean ice move? We had 6 disbands due to people not knowing first boss. When you say disbands, I assume you mean they left the group, because that's it, eh? Once somebody leaves the group, that's it. You can't ask another person in. I found that out. Yeah, like that's it for a mythic. So you got to basically can it and go back in, waste your key and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, so I'm guessing that's why I've been able to sort of hang around, even though I was doing horribly at a couple of them. But no, that's fine. We don't have to run a key. I can make it for tomorrow when there's some more people around. If you want, that's fine. I don't mind. Not really. The only difference is when you get to 20s, when you mess up a one-shots you. Yes. Gimbus, I used to do +15 to 18 keys as a warrior in BFA, and I tried to do mythics as a mage in Shadowlands. I was horribly bad. Yeah. If you want a really insightful video, you can look up Metronice. He did a spreadsheet of all his runs from the beginning of Season 1 to now. It shows the percent of disbands and why throughout it. Okay, I'll give it a look. Metronice. I'll give it a look. Hang on. I'll search him on YouTube. I'll find him anyway. I'll find him. Growl did a commentary in his video. Growl is one of the top 20 healers in the world. That's pretty insane, isn't it? And you have to think, how many people play WoW? I know it was like they used to have about 6 million, but I know that's probably dropped off. So if you're like, you're in the top 20, and it's like there's 4 million people on the server, you know what I mean, all playing WoW. Yeah, 0.1%. Yeah, I can imagine. I know. I got it from next door the other day. He was the top DPS for Warlocks, I think. No, Blood Death Knights. No, top DPS for a Death Knight, I think. Dad, and he's like 31. You can just, this is our conversations. Hey, Dad, what? I'm top of the DPS for this stuff. And I'm like, oh, good on you, man. Not like, go and clean the kitchen or something like that. Oh, well done, mate. I know Growler's the reason I started healing and why I play Druid. I've actually got a Feral Druid as well. Hello, Wodgetech. Hello, just quickly came up here to tell you that your videos are next level of awesomeness. Keep it up. Thanks, mate. Thank you. I appreciate that, and thank you for jumping in to say that. That's awesome. Jared. Yeah, him. Jarrett. I'm going to stop saying Jared. Sorry. Jarrett. Yeah, him and Dorky being one of the top tanks in the world, but running a lot of content on better with them, or beta. Now, the problem is that Mythic Plus community can get a little too toxic in the higher keys. Oh, I see what you're saying with the disbands. Right. Yeah, thankfully I haven't run into that yet. The worst I've had is, hey, Paladin, you should know how to interrupt. Like, that's the worst I've had so far. That was in like a +3, I think, a while ago, Thankfully I haven't run across that, but I can see what you mean. Yeah, Okay, I think Chris, because by then you're in with a group that and a lot of people have been saying that, and I'm going to do that doing that with you guys, obviously, you know what I mean. I'm going to a mythic with people that and you can you're not going to stress and stuff like that. Yeah, that was what his video was about, the sheer hilarity of and toxicity of people leaving groups and the stuff that happens. It's a real knee slapper. I'm sure for the person with the key, it's a real knee slapper as well. I had 38 wipes on a 24 JY and we still timed it. Good God. What's JY Junkyard? Is it? 38 wipes. Wow, on a 24. I think it's just the fact that it's just one. They just one shots. Bang. Fucking that's it. Game. You know, that's it. I suppose. That happened to me in that 15 a lot that I got carried through the other day. It's all about recovering from wipes. Everyone makes mistakes, and when you get to that level, most people understand that. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that's fair enough. I think. Yeah. It's like people seem to be not so forgiving when that's that kind of stuff. Hey. I don't know. As I said, thankfully I haven't ran into anything like that yet. And the 15 I did it with you guys, or guys in the stream, so that wasn't that big of a deal. But running with friends. Obviously, we all know, you all know each other and stuff like that, and that's cool. And I think that's what I'll do. I think when we start up, when I get this guild started, we can all do that as well, and get to learn it together as well, and not stress over it. You know what I mean? And we can all come in a stream afterwards and yell at each other or something like that, or we'll have Discord, of course. Running higher keys with friends is way more fun than pugging. Yes, I would appreciate that. Yeah, actually, Chris, that's what a lot of people are saying about mine, because I've been running I've got a monk, the Cool Tyran monk that I've got. And a lot of people have been saying there is sort of a unique healer because they can also do DPS as well. And I haven't been playing him like that. I've been playing him sort of stand at the back and heal everybody, you know what I mean? Tank DPS is so important. Yeah, man. See, this is where it's starting to get, help me again. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's where it's going to be a little bit, I've got to slowly get into it, because I tend to get a bit passionate. You may have seen that. I tend to get a bit passionate about it because I really feel like I've let somebody down if I didn't heal them properly. Min-maxing is horrible. Screaming at each other for being bad is golden if you're also learning at the same time. Yeah, absolutely. My Evoker currently does like 8 to 11k DPS overall as preservation, so all that damage helps cover any mechanical mistakes. Yeah, and I noticed that, like I was saying with my monk, I'm not even registering on my DPS meter, you know what I mean? Not even registering. So, yeah, and I know that's not how they're supposed to be played. I know they can, like, get in there and do DPS as well. And I know I think they've got a couple of damage over time abilities as well. Anyway, so I just ran, and that is one of the other problems with the sort of the XP boost as well. You just go, and next thing you know, you're 60, and you don't really know your character that well. The way I learned was the faster things die, the less you have to heal. Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, I'd agree with you on that, mate. Yeah. And like I was saying, yeah, that 50% XP boost, I mean, it was great, don't get me wrong. I got like 4 characters to 60, you know what I mean? But yeah, you sort of, thankfully a Frost Mage I already know, because my main on Classic is a Frost Mage. A deep Frost Mage, actually. And that was what I built for my son's raids when we raided together. Yeah, you just, before you know it, you're 60 and you haven't really done anything. You've done a few quests and ran around a little bit, and next thing you know, you're at your max level, you know what I mean? Yeah, Jared, I didn't deliberately, I've avoided it all. I've avoided everything. I knew a little bit about it. I wanted to know a little bit about the pre-patches, but I've really avoided every kind of Dragonflight content that's out there. Super excited for DF after playing on beta. Everything will be fresh and people will be willing to learn and work together. Hopefully so. Yeah, okay, the beta community has been great. So yeah, okay, so you'd assume then that the retail version is going to be great as well. Excuse me. Yes. Neil, I'll be going to sleep because it's late here in Spain. España. I'm glad I could catch you live. Good luck with the rest of the stream. No worries, Neil. And thank you very much for jumping in and being engaging, mate. Awesome. Thank you so much. And sleep well over there in that lovely country. I've been to Barcelona, so there you go. Yeah, a couple of years ago now, 2018, I think, 18. I was over in Barcelona, 16, 18, something like that. Anyway, yeah. Thank you, and sleep well, mate. Yeah, and we can hope for that, Jared. I think it will be. I don't think it's going to be anything. Chris, I haven't checked that out. Jordan, my buddy and I found your stream. We love it. Keep up the good work. Thank you, mate. I appreciate that. Chris, I deliberately kind of sort of haven't looked at any of that yet. I've been avoiding the majority of content on it because I want to stream about it and I want it to be a genuine sort of, wow, check this out reaction. You know what I mean? So I've kind of I wanted to stream about it and make videos about it. So because of that, I've sort of been really avoiding any content. I know there's guys out there that have made videos about the beta and all that sort of stuff, or the beta. Yeah, don't spoil it. Yeah, that's kind of sort of Jared. That's how I'm feeling at the moment. I want to do some content about it, and I want it to be, fuck, look at this, check this out, this is awesome. You know what I mean? That's what I'm hoping for anyway. Going to be amazing. I can't really go and blind myself, but that's just my position on playing. Yeah, I get that, mate. I certainly appreciate that, Jarrett. No worries. But yeah, for me, it's like I'm just sort of hanging out for it now at the moment. It's almost like I need to go and see my dealer. Yeah, take your time. It's awesome. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping that it's going to be really good. I want it to be, like my favorite expansion probably, and I think most people's favorite expansion was Wrath of the Lich King. It was just, I found it to be a very adult expansion. The questing was really good. I found it to be really good. Like that one, I think was specifically built for the people that love to play WoW. You know what I mean? That's the feeling anyway. And there's been ums and ahs since then. But yeah, I think Dragonflight's going to be awesome. Even though I say I've avoided content, you can't help but seeing a little bit of content on it, but I haven't gone out and watched YouTube videos on what it's going to be like. This, play this, do that. I'm just like, no, I'm just going to hit it completely blind, and just plod along and see what happens. And as I said, I'm going to be making content about that. I'll stream about it. That's kind of sort of what I'm hoping for, yeah. But yeah, I don't really want to spoil it. And I haven't been doing that with any of them, actually. I've never really played any of the betas before. Gimbus, yeah, awesome. Excellent. DF you meant, not BF. But that's cool. Interesting enough, if you watch the video Preach put out, it's about an hour long. He does a tour of Blizzard HQ and talks to all the top brass. And their philosophy on Dragonflight was from Wrath. Okay, cool. Evergreen systems, talents, leveling, etc. Yeah, like they brought the talent tree back. Like we all missed that, didn't we? Because there was no... you could pick and choose. And I mean, admittedly, most of us use the Icy Veins list anyway, you know what I mean? But still, you still had the choice. You still had an option. You could get this to cast that if that's what you wanted to do, And like Classic, straight away, Deep Frost Mage, you have to follow this specific path to get all the way down to Deep Frost, So you can cast the longest distance and things like that. But I think I remember that from Classic. Yeah, Classic team is working with Tandem and DF team to bring in their fan favorite features. Yeah, that's good. I think that's awesome because I think we're all new guys that have played it already. Played the beta. I know it's not going to be the release version, but you guys all seem to be pretty positive about it. So that seems to be like a good thing. Yeah, even with a specific best one, there's still a lot more viable and competitive options with talent trees. Yeah, and you can play. You can make your character truly your own. You know what I mean? You can set it up how you want to play it as well. And and I sort of, and that is, I think, one of the problems is we are tending to follow someone else's guide. You know what I mean? And because we do that, because this leads to the maximum amount of DPS or the maximum amount of this. You know what I mean? Best healing and stuff like that. So there is, even though we do have the choice, naturally we're probably just going to make the best we can, you know what I mean? But there is a choice. You have to remember that. There is at least a choice now. Instead of just clicking through, level 50, you've got 3 options, murdered crows, something else and something else, whatever and whatever and whatever. Clicking that. I really didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. But I'm still yet to get into the I had a quick look with the patch about the what are they called? Professions. See, all my 60s, like 3 of my 60s don't have any professions yet, so I've got to work out what professions to do them. But I like, the way they've redone that now, that looks pretty cool. But anyway, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I'm just checking to make sure everything's still running okay. How does that look? Sorry, I'm just checking something out. Yeah, anyway. So I'll be on tomorrow. So hopefully I'll have Dragonflight by tomorrow. So I might stream a little bit later tomorrow. Not super much later, but like an hour or two. If I don't, I'll stream it anyway. Because the fella that's gifting it to me, we have to be friends for 3 days before he can actually gift it to me. So, and we became friends yesterday. So I'm hoping he can do it tomorrow. Yeah, the profession system is great. A lot of depth. Good. And I think that was what was missing. Yeah, because they were just sort of there. unless you're doing something like engineering specifically or dual crafting or something like that, you know. Yeah, like, oh yeah, that was one of the good things about Classic. Like I was because my major's a tailoring Classic, and I just smashed tailoring. I loved it, you know, because you get all the good gear and all that sort of stuff. But I think it was just like it seemed like an afterthought in retail, which did with the modern expansions, you know. GPS just tuned in for the first time. Missed the stream. Hope you had a nice time. Yeah, I'm still gonna. Yeah, I will can it shortly, but I'm going to be on tomorrow, mate. I'm hoping to have Dragonflight by tomorrow, so we'll do a little bit of Dragonflight stuff. And as I was saying earlier, you know, I haven't seen anything about it, looked at anything about it, haven't done anything about it. So it's going to be a real. I haven't even level. Obviously, I don't have Dragonflight, so I can't even level a Drakthir yet. But so I'm here for a little bit. It's still a little bit longer. Not going straight away, mate. But hanging around for a little bit. Yeah, but we're mostly talking. So we haven't streamed any game stuff, and I probably won't today. I'll probably do it tomorrow. Because a lot of guys, they said they're a bit keyed out at the moment. So and that's quite acceptable. So yeah. So no, it's all good. We'll hang around for a while. Well, and Iron mentioned in the Preach video in general, they want to make it so other forms of gameplay can give decent rewards. Yes, i.e. professions, well, content can result in competitive gearing choices. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. It just seemed like an afterthought, you know what I mean? Okay, we had the fishing competition and stuff like that, you know, that kind of stuff, but yeah, there wasn't really, you had got a bit of gear maybe if you're a tailor or something, but yeah, it was just kind of, yeah, I didn't go out of my way to go and mine, you know what I mean, or stuff like that. I did in Classic, obviously. Or farming. I wasn't farming for my professions, really. And I'm not really missing out on anything by doing that. But then, you know, I think this time Dragonflight, I will get into my professions a little bit more. But, yeah. Yeah, because I think that'll be pretty cool. You know, and see where it leads to. Once again, I don't know what it's going to be like. We just got to see. We're going to see where it leads to, and I'm really looking forward to that. I'm glad I haven't touched anything on it because I know most of you are saying it's well worth it, and hopefully it will be. It will be that. Oh, my voice is starting to run out. But yes, so what we'll do tomorrow is I hate professions by self, lol. But I assume you say I like the way they have them in better for testing. They seem the most interesting they have been. Yeah, Jarrett, fair enough. And for me, I was questing. That was how I leveled. I know because my eldest would just run dungeons. He'd just run dungeons all the time to get gear and get more XP and stuff like that. And I was trying to sort of get more into the story, but then still I wasn't really, you know what I mean? For this one, I really want to get into it. I want to just, I'm going to do everything. I'm going to do everything I can when I can, you know? So yeah, you know, when you hit a level and you get all the dungeons unlocked and stuff like that, I just keep questing, you know what I mean? I wouldn't queue for them straight away and stuff like that. And I think that was because I was worried I'd do shit. I'd be shit at them, you know what I mean? So yeah, that was probably why. But I mainly just sort of quested. Ran dungeons if you had to, you know what I mean? But mainly just quested out in the wild. And I like that. But coming up for Dragonflight, and because of, you know, all this sort of stuff, the streaming and all that, and making videos, I'm going to try and do everything. Give me everything. Fire everything. What's that from? What's that out of? Yes, that's Eric Banner on the Romulan ship out of the first Star Trek reboot. Fire everything. I ran the campaign twice, and I can say the characters and story was really good, like on par with Legion. Okay. Good narrative was actually interesting, and well, Dragonflights are interesting. Yeah. Yeah. And remember, like, I guess, and that would make sense why earlier someone was saying that they've sort of, I think it might have even been you, Jarrett, that they've linked the sort of Dragonflight is sort of linked with Wrath because you had the aspects there while you were there. It was a big deal. It was a big part of it. You know what I mean? Running through Midden, they had that big tower with all the dragons going around it, you know, and the corpse of the dragon and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah. Mark, hello from London. And hello from London to you. Well, hello from Western Queensland, mate, to you. The story definitely seems to be a lot more cohesive than Shadowlands so far. And I think I enjoyed Shadowlands. I didn't mind it. It's what sort of it did bring me back to retail from Classic. But yeah, I can get where there was a lot going on. You had your you had your bloody for God's sake, what were they called? You know, the Kyrian and all that, and the Night Fae and all that. They had the for God's sake, I forgot one. You know, you had their quests that you had to do, and then you had Torghast on top of that as well. Yeah, and the zones in Wrath were just great, fully immersive and large for no other reason than to be interesting to explore. Yes, correct. Except now we have Dragon riding here, which is pretty cool. Sofan Ellis, hola, and hola to you as well. I'm assuming that means hello. Covenants, thanks, Canal. That was it. Yeah, you had all the covenants and sort of, you know, so you went down one road and then you could do the other ones, and then you had Torghast as well. And when I came in late in the day in Shadowlands, I just went and got dust, you know, soul ash and cinders and stuff from old mate next, you know, at the thing. I just went and bought it, you know. Sofan, no, but I played original Warcraft, which I think Dota 2 is from, isn't it? Covenants, yeah. No, so I've never played Dota 2, but I did play the original Warcrafts, 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, I think it was it maybe too complex, Shadowlands? I don't know, maybe. See, it now, to me, coming in late, as I said at the end, Torghast was just, I didn't do Torghast. There was nothing to not really do there, you know what I mean? And you think about it, it was actually a pretty cool idea, but just by the time I sort of discovered it, you could just go and get stuff from a vendor anyway, you know what I mean? But no, so I've never actually played Dota 2, but I have played Warcraft 1, 2, and 3. Ben, hey, I can't stick around today, but wanted to drop in and say hi. I'll have to catch the VOD later. Have a good weekend. No worries, Ben. Thanks, mate. I'll be on tomorrow, buddy. I'm hoping to have Dragonflight tomorrow. So we'll do a little bit of Dragonflight stuff. We'll start a Drakthea and do all that sort of stuff. So I will be streaming tomorrow as well. So please feel free to jump in. I'll go for about an hour and a half today, and then we'll can it. So we'll can it shortly. But but tomorrow will be a bit longer. And I just wanted to say hi to everybody because I haven't put any content on in a few days. So so thank you for jumping in, Ben, and saying hey, and hey back to you, and a hi and a wave. And yes, so yeah, we're just talking about WoW mainly, a little bit about the army, but so you haven't really missed that much, mate. We haven't jumped on game. We'll do that tomorrow, We'll do that tomorrow. Ben, awesome. I'll watch for the notification. Yeah, no worries, mate. Not a problem. And thanks very much for just jumping in and saying hi. That's great. That's awesome. Sofian. Yeah, never really got into it. My kids did. My kids got into it big time. Big time. I've watched them play, especially my youngest. And my youngest, I think when he first started streaming that, I think. He streams Call of Duty now. Bananas Call of Duty. He loves it. He streams every night. And he's been in competitions and stuff like that. So he's like full on into it. Yeah, but I never really got into it. I was sort of, I played the original single player. I wasn't really into multiplayer much then. Eck. Are you the guy that couldn't find the raids or whatever it was? Yeah, that's me. Yes, Eck. Exactly. Because you got an apostrophe. Eck. You got to go up at the end. It's like you're asking a question, making a statement. Eck. Apostrophe. Yes, I am that guy. Yes, I'm the guy that did the World of Warcraft video that said, please help me with the Mythic content. Then also hello from Ireland, and hello to you too there, sir. I know it's a horrible Irish accent, mate. I'm originally from there on my mother's side. Hey, I'm glad I found you again. No worries, mate. Thanks for jumping in. Earlier in the chat, you'll see my Discord if you want to jump in Discord as well. The Mush. Hello from the Mush there. Yes, mate. On my mother's side, originally from there. Thankfully, they stole something and got transported. So we got transported to an island paradise. Hey, how about that? Thanks very much, Poms, for doing that for my ancestors. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. I'd still be in Ireland, probably, or England or somewhere. But yes, and hello to you too. No, Jordan, we're going to do that tomorrow, mate. I asked some people earlier if they wanted to run in and do a Mythic, but they've been a bit played out. So we'll give it a break. I'm going to be on tomorrow. I'll be on tomorrow morning as well, or evening for you guys. I'm hoping to have Dragonflight then. So I may be streaming a little bit later, say around 10 or 11 my time. And we'll do some Dragonflight content, hopefully. If not, I'll jump on anyway, and we'll do the key. I've got a 15 key to run, Mechagon Junkyard, I think it is. It's got 4 days left, so we might as well use it, you know what I mean? Canal, how did I end up in Western Queensland? I'm not super Western Queensland. I'm in southwestern Queensland. I'm up in the mountains, mainly for the weather. Sophie, and I'm from Indonesia. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool, man. And g'day, wow. Okay, I think you're the first Indonesian I've ever had in the chat, so that's awesome. Basically, I live up in the Queensland mountains, mate. So I'm like Stanthorpe, around there. I'm about 2 and a bit hours west of the capital, Brisbane. No, Mark. No, I'm not. Wasn't born here, mate. I was born in Sydney. So I'm from the biggest city in Australia. So no, I didn't go to radio school, but there is School of the Air. We call it School of the Air here, Mark. School of the Air. But yes, a lot of remote communities still do have School of the Air and stuff like that. And now with the internet and stuff like that, it's more live streaming kind of teaching and stuff like that. So how did I end up here? Just purely the weather. It's much cooler up here. I live in Queensland because it's close to our family, kids and grandkids and or grandson and stuff like that. Brought the family back together because we were separated. We did live in New South Wales, and our son, his wife, and our grandson were in Queensland. So we made the decision to move to Queensland. We moved to a hot area first. It was quite hot, and we couldn't handle it. So we moved we thought, where can we stay in Queensland that's still cool? And so I know it sounds Western Queensland, and you think that can't be a cool area to live, but actually we live up in the mountains. So we're sort of in that southwest bracket, Stanthorpe, Warwick, around that area, which is like we're up in the Great Dividing Range. So we get freezing winters, -4s and 5s. I've got a log fire in my house, and the summers are pretty mild. They only get into sort of late 20s, early 30s, so they're not too bad. But that's sort of how I ended up here. Just choice, mate, just purely choice. Somewhere not too bad to live. Nice and quiet, little tiny town, only about 300 people. Oh, at Applethorpe, okay. Yeah, well, Stanthorpe can snow, mate. Queensland, it doesn't happen very often, but Stanthorpe's like, yeah, it can snow in the granite belt there, bloody oath. But yeah, so that's sort of my area. I live out Stanthorpe, Warwick way. I won't get too specific, but I live out sort of Stanthorpe, Warwick, around that area, and up in the mountains there. So it is pretty beautiful, very peaceful, very quiet. I'm only in a tiny little town, a few hundred people. So I'm sort of out of the major centres, you know what I mean? I've got to drive to get milk and bread and stuff like that. But yeah, all right. So, Eck, I'll be on tomorrow. I'm just catching up. Am I doing any runs? No, Jordan, we'll do a run tomorrow, I think, mate. Hey, we'll do a run tomorrow. And I mentioned earlier in the stream too, I don't know if some of you guys may not have caught it, but I'm going to try and stream a little bit more regularly. I'm going to try for at least 3 days a week. At the moment, I've got a bit of personal life stuff, RL stuff going on. But other than that, I'm thinking like Mondays, Wednesdays, and then Saturday, Sunday, or something like that. You know what I mean? Saturday or a Sunday or something like that. What's for lunch, Julie? I don't know. Might actually be. I don't think the wife's cooking anything today. Might be Sambo's, mate. Could be ham, cheese. I've got sliced turkey and sliced ham, so it could be ham, cheese, tomato, turkey, and cranberry. I don't know whether I'll put them make them toasties, make them or not. But for dinner's probably going to be pasta. I think probably spag bol, something like that. Good old classic Aussie standard spag bol. But yeah, because we had steak for lunch yesterday. I could smell it. It was my wife was cooking. You could smell it. I was working down the shed yesterday. I could smell it from down in the shed. But anyway, yeah, because I live on in the country we tend to have larger blocks. Paladin, Jordan, Paladin, of course. Retribution Paladin. That's what I play. That's my main. Ret Pally, mate. Ret Pally is the coolest. And why? Because it's the one I play. That's why it's cool. No. I've said this before. Paladin reminded me of the books I read, the fantasy novels I read. A spellcasting knight. That kind of sort of reminded me a lot of the books I've read. You know what I mean? So I thought, Pally, that's what I wanted to play, and that was my first character. But I am enjoying my Kultiran monk. My bear is the best. See, I'm a druid, right? Of course. I've actually got a druid. Can't beat the spag bol. Bloody oath and wish. Yeah, mate, you bet. Simple and easy. Bit of mince. Throw in a can. Pasta on the border. Done. Parmesan cheese on top. Thanks for coming. It's actually funny. It's a massive meal in Australia. We have it all the time. You know what I mean? It's not really an Australian. You know what I mean? It's Italian or whatever. But Like, yeah, even as a kid in the 70s and 80s, I used to eat it. Mum used to cook a mean spag bro, It's just funny, isn't it? I think with Australia, it's because we're so multicultural. We really are truly, a multicultural nation. Big here as well. Yeah, cool. In Ireland as well. That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, and I think that's why the coffee thing, like we had coffee brought over, like good coffee brought over by the Italians, and now everywhere you can get barista coffee, everywhere. There's like 15 places in town, and I only live in a town of 15. Well, I would live near a town of about 15,000. Yeah, it's and we've got Thai, Chinese, Indian. We can pretty much got everything. Thai's massive here. Thai's huge here. Japanese too. Sushi train. Sushi here is massive, especially in the big cities, like Sydney, Brisbane, stuff like that, Melbourne. We have a lot of international cuisine, and we all just eat it. You know what I mean? But like traditional, and this is funny. The mush, you'll probably appreciate this. The traditional Australian meal would be roast lamb. A lamb roast on a Sunday afternoon, and it was almost like a religion in my house. Church in the morning, roast meal of an evening in the late afternoon. Oh yeah, I've heard that now. Like in LA's pretty multicultural as well. It'd be big Mexican influence there. You know what I mean? Like a lot of Mexican food and stuff. We don't have a lot of that. We got Guzman y Gomez. I know that's not really Mexican food, but we don't have like little bodegas or anything like that sort of thing. But yeah, the mush Sundays, man. Oh my God! If there wasn't a roast on the table, there was trouble. So we have a lamb roast, all the trimmings, roast potato, roast pumpkin, roast sweet potato, and then beans, peas, all that sort of stuff. Big Sunday roast, yeah, 100%. And I think that's obviously come over. It's funny. And another thing too is at Christmas time, which is stupid here, and you guys in the Northern Hemisphere will find this a bit weird, is that at Christmas time we still cook massive big meals of hot meals, right? Because our ancestors are from the Northern Hemisphere, most of them anyway, you know what I mean? So we still cook massive roast meals that we'll have prawns, and we'll have, we don't put shrimp, we don't have shrimp are tiny little fucking things we don't have shrimp. We don't cook them on the barbie. You generally get your side burner, and you cook them in a side burner on a little pan. We have prawns, so you'll have prawns and salad and cool stuff, cold meat or whatever, but then you'll have a massive cooked ham or a roast lamb or something like that with a big thing of roast potatoes. So poor mum's been sweating in the kitchen in like 40-degree heat on Christmas Day, you know what I mean, cooking this thing. It's hot outside, it's hot inside. That's sort of Christmas here, you know what I mean? No white Christmas in Australia at all. It's hot. It's as hot can be. Like now we're getting into the 30s already, you know what I mean? I haven't experienced a white Christmas. I'd love to, but I haven't experienced one yet. Whereas you guys are the opposite. It's freezing, so you are cooking hot things. But here, yeah, we have a pretty decent Christmas, mate. We have a pretty big Christmas. Yeah, correct. Yeah. You just do. You're eating this big, massive food, and it's just hot as hell, man. And then you're having a few tubes or bourbon if that's your poison. You know what I mean? And the next thing you know, you're all just not zonked out. Everybody's then got to drive home. You know what I mean? But because my wife is Maltese, because she's ethnic, she was born here, but obviously both her parents are Maltese. We used to have, not so much anymore because all our children have grown up, but my God, the Christmases, we'd have 60 people at a house for Christmas just running around, just crazy. Literally groaning tables full of food. Wet season, we don't even have seasons here, wet season and a dry season. Yeah, true. LA would be pretty warm, hey, by American standards. Yeah, but we don't have like any of that kind of stuff. But yeah, all right, we might leave it there, guys. Hey, we'll stream again tomorrow, and we'll do a run tomorrow. I'll do that plus 15 key. Hopefully, there's people who would like to do it in the stream. We can all do it together because I don't really want to do it with some randoms. So if we could do it on people in the stream, that would be awesome. Yeah, once again, thank you all for jumping in. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for the donations. That's awesome. I just got to run. You've dropped off the top, so I've just got to run all the way back. Hang on. Canel, thank you, mate. Thank you. Sorry, I just had to double check it was you, mate. Thank you very much for that. I do appreciate it. Yeah, so we'll be on tomorrow. Like I said, I'm going to try and stream a little bit more regularly. I'm going to get a little bit of different gear too. We might fiddle around with the gear for a little while, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's basically it. So thank you very much for jumping in. Thank you for all for commenting. I love it. As I've said many times, and I'll probably say this, mentioned at every stream, I am guided by you guys. I don't really have an agenda or a topic. I like to be guided by the chat, so we can sort of go down whatever road we feel like we want to go down. So I do like you guys to be active in the chat. I try and I'm only small, so it's not a big deal now. You know what I mean? I don't think I'm ever going to get massive, so like it's pretty cool. I like to read everybody out and acknowledge them when they jump in and stuff like that. I am guided by you guys on what you want to talk about and stuff like that. So I'm very happy to talk about anything, whether it be WoW or whether it be anything else. But so where are we? Just double check and see what's going on. All right, so I'll be on tomorrow. As I said, it'll probably be a little bit later because I'm going to try and get Dragonflight sorted, and we'll do some Dragonflight content and we'll run a Mythic. So we'll can it there. I think we're right to go. Okay. So as I said before, thank you very much for jumping in. Thanks for being active in the chat. It's actually very important for me that you are, as I said, because I like to be guided by you guys. I really don't start out with a topic. I just start out with hey, I'm going to jump on the stream and let's just see what happens. That's why sometimes I go a bit silent because I'm kind of either waiting for you to get into something that we can talk about, or I'm trying to think of something to talk about. And I've got an old brain, so that takes a little while. But thank you very much for jumping in. I appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful day, evening, night, morning, wherever you may be. Sleep well or get up well. Have a nice breakfast. Have a nice dinner. And thanks very much. So take it easy, and we'll be on tomorrow. All right. See you later. Oh, and remember, as always, duty first. Oh, hang on.